Oh, I
Careful.
clicked the button, by the way.
Well, I don't know what you folks heard, but welcome to Everyday Divinity.
Sorry. Oh no, it just started at. I clicked the button, by the way. There was like a brief pause. I
Okay.
just forgot to give the warning.
All right. So
Ta-da!
we ended last session with a couple different scenes. Zane and Randall had plummeted into a hole in the floor made by what appeared to be angry vines of some sort. Zane had pushed Xander away from the hole for various reasons, most of which involve Xander not even being sure why he was there in the first place, from the sounds of it. Um, Alex and Juliet were down a side passage where there had just been some fantastic mirror shenanigans and physiological and psychological trauma, as well as a creepy old door opening just as the mirror shattered. And Saul got into a car to go have a conversation with someone who really probably should have had this talk previously, but maybe not. It's hard to say. Um, but we'll get to all of that here in a little bit. Where we're really starting tonight is Xander at the edge of the pit with the whole underground sort of passage slash hallway that had been excavated previously that they had just come from and looked to be really their only way to go to again. The vines that had torn down the floor previously and had formed a bit of a ramp or a slope for Zane, they spread, and they spread rapidly. Extreme cellular growth. This doesn't look like lengths of vines from beneath spreading out so much as the vines that were there just adding onto themselves with alacrity. Uh, Xander, being the specialist that he is, would probably recognize the vines. They belong to the family. I should have looked up how to pronounce this before I did it, but Vitis vinifera, Greek wine vines, the family of vines that Greece has been known for centuries in their winemaking process. It's hard to say what species of this family they are because they are possibly all of them. They're not all one uniform color necessarily. They're not all one uniform shape or diameter. They don't all have the same leaves. But he can tell the family at least. And what would he do in this situation? Because they seem like they're reaching the tunnel very quickly and starting to spread down the tunnel from the roof of the cave, from the sides of the walls, and across the floor. Although they don't touch him, they seem to
Are they
flow.
going up or down?
They're going up out of the tunnel or out of the pit into the tunnel that he's standing in and down the tunnel.
I want to see the root of this thing. So I'm going to start following it down the vine.
Okay, so basically the way that Zane tried to push you away from, you immediately go, new plant, and dive. I love it.
New plants. Got to find out what about them.
Yep. And the moment you step towards the edge, the vines writhe strangely for a moment, folding in on themselves until there's something of a staircase made of vines leading down into the pit right at the tips of his shoes.
Sure. We follow the vine staircase down, or the wine
Okay.
staircase down, depending on how you want to describe it.
Oh, it's definitely vines right now. Wine staircase would be a whole different thing and quite a bit splashier.
True.
So you step onto the stairs and start taking them down, and there's a shock of familiarity, but it's nothing he remembers experiencing before. It's something as familiar as a most treasured memory and yet completely alien to his experiences thus far in life. The plants rustle and shift, and the darkness stays pretty thick down at the base of the stairs. Like he's not able to see all the way into the pit as he walks down. And after a certain point, the darkness seems to rise up out of the pit to meet him, flows over him like the opposite of light. And suddenly he's somewhere else entirely. He's not wandering down vine stairs, he's not in a pit, he's in a valley. There's long grass and flowers. There are trees, familiar trees, not just olive trees, but ones he would know are um, definitely most at home in Greece. The sun is shining overhead, bright, cloudless sky, but not uncomfortably warm, like at the perfect temperature for him to be comfortable. There's nobody around. There's no buildings, no frolicking anything, nobody wandering around with a book. It's just a very almost idyllic valley that he can't see over the edges of. It's hard to tell if he's either surrounded by very tall hills or actually in a depression itself. But either way, he's a little hemmed in without a great deal of climbing, which he could probably do, but he doesn't have any of his equipment. So what does he think? What does he do in this completely new setting?
The first is orienting himself. So the first is kind of saying, okay, where's the sun in the sky? Does it seem like it's, I know it's warm, so it's probably about like midday, so you can't necessarily tell, is it going up or down?
No, it's about perfectly above him in the sky. If he
Oh,
watches the sun, he can see it slowly moving towards, like, it's either finished up, pretty much finished rising at this point, and is about to start down, or it's just starting to start down. It's hard to say at this moment, especially because there are no shadows anywhere. No shadows under the trees, no shadows thrown by bushes or flowers.
so there's just no shadow at all, even kind of under a canopy where you'd expect there to be a shadow. There's just nothing.
There's just nothing. It's not painfully bright, just fully illuminated.
So he's in the field surrounded by hills. So he's
Yes.
going to kind of look at some of the plants to see if there's anything he can notice. Not really discrepancies so much as just like okay, yes, they're Greek, but is there anything else about them?
What role would you use for that for him?
It's the attribute wise, based on how it's described, it's definitely more like an intellect kind of attribute.
Okay.
But on the top, I'm like between science survival. Is he trying to science it through, or is he kind of saying, okay, compared to like what I've seen, what I've read versus what I've seen? Because one's botany, with the other's forest exploration, so they're kind of both toss-ups for expertise.
For this one, I would probably say he's going for botany. If he's just trying to look for discrepancies and not necessarily anything that's useful, then I would say the botany.
Yeah.
Right. So give me that roll. Let's see where.
Okay, Hatch Punch. For a 3.
3. That's good enough. Xander is not necessarily an expert in Greek botany, but he is very learned in his field, and it's clear to him after some study that most of these plants don't exist anymore, or at least not in the forms that he's seeing them in. These are precursors, earlier steps on the evolutionary chain. Not super far down, but distinct enough to know that these would have been, present in the world centuries ago or more. These are all very pre-cultivation or low cultivation trees, bushes, flowers, even the grass seems just a little rougher.
But at the same, I kind of get the impression that the plants don't really want for anything. They're just
They
happily
don't want
growing.
for anything. They're all just happily growing. There's no struggle for life here. Grass and things under the trees aren't dying, even though that's normally kind of what trees do. Um, this seems to be a contained and fully functioning strange ecosystem. And while he's studying, he hears from behind him hooves on grass and dirt. Not the clop that you would expect from stone, but still definitely noticeable. And riding up behind him, I'm assuming he's turning around. He might not. Grant, Xander gets really into his look. I
I know.
watched the show last night.
It's okay. So Xander would probably more give the look more through, kind of under the shoulder if he's turned away from the figure, just to kind of get an idea. Okay, what might they be? Because there was kind of nothing in this field all of a couple minutes ago, unless it was ours. Could have been ours.
Even the little peak shows him riding a brilliant, just perfect horse, beautiful white fur, a mane, silvery platinum, the unshod hooves, but uh, golden eyes. And astride the horse is a older woman, um, very well kept, very attractive for all her sort of the hints, just a bit of lines at the corners of her eyes and mouth. Definitely a sort of matronly feel to her. Dark brown hair done up in a rather elaborate bun, and in a power suit. No togas, no anything like that. In a earth toned power suit, brown satin, um, for the top and bottom. And if this actually looks horrible, just out of character, I don't know shit for fashion, so this is just kind of what's happening here. Um, but and with a pair of uh, wireframe glasses perched on her nose, her features are definitely Greek. Um, she's got just very strong, very stunning features. Like even now, she could probably, if not do a runway thing, make a fortune in the box offices. Um, pitching skin creams or whatever. And as she draws closer, Xander will see that there are little flowers growing in her hair. Just tiny flowers with petals that seem to shift colors. They're all once again muted earth colors, but definitely they seem alive to him even from here. They seem like they're growing and exactly where they're supposed to be. And she pulls up to Xander, definitely not in a hurry, and studies him for a moment before saying, "Oh, you're not supposed to be here." "How did you get here?"
I followed the vines.
"Were these vines underground, possibly moving with a purpose?"
Yes.
"They found it then." "Well, that's maybe a problem. It's hard to say. What year is it right now?"
Early 21st century.
"A little vague, but I can work with that. It's definitely been a while. That might explain the clothing." Um, "Were you the one to find it?"
The first would seem to be a leech by the name of Randall.
So by leech, do you mean just a parasite, a human, but a user,
Regrettably,
or
no.
oh,
For one of our the one of a library told us it was like a devourer or a servant of one,
oh,
like gluttony, hunger, that kind of thing.
yeah, yes. Well, then I have some good news and some bad news. It's mostly bad news, but the good news is I can help you some. I am not forbidden.
Then
If it had been
who
somebody
might you
else,
be if you don't mind me asking?
well, you can just call me Grandma. I know we've never met, but I always recognize one of mine. Um, and I'm sorry we've never met in person, but if you're where I think you are, then there's a really good reason for that, which I can't necessarily disclose. But what you need to know is that under no circumstances can this servant of, let's just call it hunger, this servant of hunger gain control of the node. Have you reached the node yet?
Me, no. There was another I was with that followed the servant down.
Oh, well, hopefully they can distract him at least. Um, the vines are there as something of a alarm and security system, if I'm reading things correctly. Um, they will react positively to you and probably anyone of your family, but most others they're going to be neutral or hostile to. Did they attack this leech person directly that you know of?
I didn't see them land a hit, but the servants definitely went down.
It's also not
So
good.
there's some hierarchy thing of leech to leech conversation that was outside of my understanding.
I would not expect you to know their language. I wouldn't expect anybody but them to know their language. So here's the thing. What you need to do, and this is the most help I can give you right now because I'm not exactly all of me here. I would be considered a fragment, a remnant. So my understanding is limited and largely based into when the node was created. But what you need to do more than anything is to be the first one to get to the node and lay hands on it. You'll understand what to do from there. But under no circumstances can this leech person be allowed to touch the node. If he does, a very, very bad time awaits everything within 100 miles. Is that how you miles? Why is it so inefficient? But we'll go with miles. 100 miles of the node itself. I can't give you more answers than that. That's all I can do. I'm limited to this echo of a place. And I don't think I can hold you here much longer. Do you have any questions for me before I send you back? They must be quick and simple.
Now your instructions are pretty clear. Touch the node and don't let the leech touch it. Like, if we meet again, maybe I'll have questions.
No, we probably will not. Not like this anyway. But I am glad to see that that streak of pragmatism stays strong in our family. It's not much. There's no real power behind this, but go with my love and my blessing. And she just kind of blows a sort of grandmotherly kiss, and the sunlight fades, the grass and the valley fade away, and you find yourself at the base of the pit, all the way down at the bottom, even though it doesn't feel like you traveled nearly as long as that would have taken. There's no sign of Randall, but Zane is there, um, bound by vines with his sword just out of reach. It doesn't look like he's being hurt, just restrained.
So Edward would kind of walk over and kind of give it the pat of like kind of good dog bite down now, buddy.
And the vines let him go. They drop the sword. They set him down gently. They don't do the comedy trope of haha, there you go, fall on your ass. Woo. They set him down and withdraw. And a couple of them, lighter than the others, gesture down a tunnel that you can see. There are a couple different ways that you could go through here. All of them look about the same, just radiating different ways, but the vines are very much indicating go down here.
So Zan, should we follow the vines? I mean, Xander's already kind of going in that direction.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Adding to the list of things I find weird.
The thing that Zane would probably also find weird that Xander can't really see is that there appear to be a couple of small white petaled flowers in his hair, almost floating above them. They seem like they weigh nothing.
Is it like a little flower halo?
Not even like a flower halo, just like just a few random flowers. And as he moves, the petals start to flow off behind him. But they don't actually hit the floor before they vanish. And that's where we're going to draw the curtain on this little cold open. Well, folks, that was our cold open to Everyday Divinity, this fantastic little show that you have decided wisely or unwisely to join us for. We're going to start off with our our intros in the way that we do, and we're going to start, of course, with the cold opener himself, Mudkip.
Hello, over on the Discord. I am known as Mudkip. So this week I am here three times a week. This particular week, usually I'm only here twice, and somehow the 2 times I've been here have both been cold opens. They're always great times. That's why we all love them. So on Thursdays, it is our Deviant Futures game where I play Grant. Right, it's Paradox. It's okay. It's one of the two of them. It's either Futures or Paradox. Flip a coin and just kind of say whichever one hits your mind first. The actual answer is Futures, but we all know in our hearts it's both. Anyway, that night I play Grant. He is the split the party. Yes, I know it's whichever one's in your heart. All right, Scarred. Anyway, I'm throwing this potato to you, but once I'm done, I'm not done yet. Anyway, it's a great time. We're splitting the party, learning what teamwork's all about. That's okay. It's only been what, like a year and a month? We'll figure out teamwork eventually. But the other night, I'm here is, well, more usually, is on Friday nights for Everyday Divinity playing Xander Melanoe. He's a great time. He's our gardener. He's just there for the plants. It turns out there might be a little more responsibility than plants. But that's okay. It's okay. And the other night that is special for this week is our Saturday night Havoc Brigade game, which we're doing for our 6th affiliate anniversary. A whole bunch of stuff going on. A lot of people are going to be there. As the rating thing said, it's the old timers getting together. I don't know if it's somebody saying we've been here for too long or that we're old. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. Anyway, I'm going to be playing Sergeant Shivet Deadeye. It's going to be chaos. There's going to be a couple twists and turns. And why would you have 3 names if you're in orc? Don't worry about it. And as I said, I'm going to throw it at our Scarred Adventurer.
Hello, I am the Scarred Adventurer. And when you said I am just a gardener, but with more responsibility now, it made me think of Samwise Gamgee immediately. Just, it's a good thing. I'm not, yeah. Still, today you found me as Zane Dawson over in the game you were watching, Everyday Divinity. Yeah. I'm surprisingly deadly. I didn't intend for him to be like this. I just noticed everyone else was doing sneaky characters, and I went, God damn it, we need one person that knows how to fight. Click. And then that seems to be my trope, though. Anyways, on Sunday, you'll find me as Arthur Wolf in our Shadow of the Voxtum, run by the crazily wonderful Siosa. Everything I'm going to say is, like, it's a ton of fun. It is a ton of fun. They're all fun. They're fantastic. So come see all of them. Like, when I play Barlaman on Tuesdays in our Rise of the Temple run by the True Shadowmancer, he wants to be financially compensated for everything. And then steal what he isn't financially compensated for. Even if you financially compensate him, you're still going to steal. What? Kleptomania. But on alternate Wednesdays, you'll find me running our Oracle Force campaign. It's a lot of fun. Please come check it out. We just came back last Wednesday, so our thing is still on the VOD. Or check us out on YouTube, whatever you do. On Thursdays, you'll find me playing Satin Isle and Deviant Paradox. Yes, Paradox, not Futures. Run by Sarah. So much of this is just going off the deep end of crazy, and I don't have any control over any of it anymore. even though I say anymore like there was any time I had any control over any of it. But otherwise, when I'm not doing those games or those things, you'll find me. I clicked the wrong thing. You'll find me working with Tango Productions to bring stuff and/or things to your sensory organs. I'm also in a Real DM's Roll D20s run by Rock Paper Fox, so keep your eyes out for that when it happens. And also, I'm here this Saturday for our affiliate anniversary. It's not in my intro written, so I keep forgetting to say it. I am. This is 6 days in a row for me. I'm a little frazzled. Anyways, I'm going to pass this on to the person who made me frazzled by giving me 6 days in a row, Kevin.
Oh, I made you do that, did I? Okay, well, we can talk about that. But I am I am Kevin, and I am here a couple times. Monday, I'm here twice. Two very different groups, one very similar story, two very different results. Tune into that, specifically if you like to see ancient Greece treated poorly. We're about to head into the big final week on that one. Then, alternate Wednesdays, I get to play a bard, yay, who is a 3 foot tall pigeon, yay, who gets to speak in a bad Irish accent, yay. So, that's a lot of yay. You should tune in and see that. We kind of lose our minds most of the time, and it's a lot of fun. And we still haven't got to the city that we were supposed to get to quite some time ago. Good fun. And then Fridays, I come here and I get to play Saul S., who never knows what he's going to do next. And I, along with the rest of you, will find out as soon as he tells me. Let's hand it off to Sarah. And you are muted.
I'd hit the button twice to make sure that I wasn't muted. So, hey, y'all, my name is Sarah. I go by Sans on the Discord. I am on this channel this week. Basically, I was supposed to be on the entire week. If we had had game from Sunday to Sunday, I would have been on from Sunday to Sunday. Tonight I am here as Alexandria Melanoe. Does she remember me? Because, yay. Tomorrow I am in the Havoc Brigade. Am I allowed to say?
Oh, yes, please. Yeah, I forgot to mention, though, that I'm actually running that. I probably should have mentioned that. But yeah, go. Yes, here's one of the many and wondrous surprises is, dun, 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 back to you, Sarah.
I am playing 5 Itacuses.
5 of them? 5 of the, oh, yeah.
Of the most chaotic character I think Kevin has ever had to wrangle.
It's been too long.
Yes. On our Sunday game, I play of 7th Seat, Shadow of October, I play Rosa Nix, finally a good guy. If you saw, you saw. Our Monday game, Pandora's Gift Nightcast, I play Clarity Palace, the best healer ever. Hashtag not a necromancer. Our Tuesday, Rise of Temple.
Hashtag wanted for necromancy.
Yes. The D&D 5e homebrew world by our wonderful DM Shadow. I play Aiko of House Wolf. I'm not paying that back. Our Wednesday game, Mask Orga Force. I play Nightwish. Somehow they kept me as the fucking leader. Our Thursday game, City Mist campaign, Deviant Paradox, not Futures. That was the first one. I am the DM of the Chaos and torturer of players. Other than that, you can find me over on Tango Productions, working with the Scarred Adventurer and Raw Paper Fox on stuff and things that'll come out eventually. I just need to read my script. And Ruth, have you gone? Are you trying to get out of it again? It's your turn.
I just wanted to see if you'd remember if I had or not. Hi, I'm Ruth. You found me. I am here on Monday in the Pandora's Gift Suncast as Xena and Alcatis, Cleric of Nyx. Tuesdays in Rise of the Temple as Ish, one half of our badass twin monks. Alternate Wednesdays in our Oracle Force game as Trek, Ball of Anxiety, and other things probably. Thursday as... I muted for stream, and that was all I could do. Fuck, I lost my notes when I muted.
Oh god, I love these people.
I was on Wednesday.
Yes. Yep.
Thursdays as Nora, Avalon in Deviant Future Docs. Today as Juliet might just remember her Fairchild.
Aw.
And Sundays as Runa Ingvild's daughter in Shadow of the Vocterm. That's all from me. Back to our narrator. Bless you.
Thank you.
That would be me. Hi, folks. I'm Bat Kyle, your friendly neighborhood menace, and someone who carries my own content warnings in multiple streams at this point. You can find me here on. You can find me here on Fridays, running this fantastic game with this fantastic group of people who I'm lucky enough to have, along for the ride. On Sundays, you can find me playing Len, the Rizzer device at this point. Costin, the shape-changing kind of spy who's not actually all that great at spying. He's mostly just good at turning into an owl. And sometimes a bear. And otherwise, you can find me on the Discord, which is really one of the most warmest, most welcoming places I've found on the internet in many, many, many years, where I, of course, bully everybody with horrible food memes and my general chaos because I can't leave well enough alone. And so that's our introduction. We're going to part the curtain on Saul.
Okay.
You've been taken for a ride through town, and the area that you're taken to is familiar to you. It's something of more of a middle class, upper middle class section of the town, for as much as the town itself has a upper class and middle class. The houses are nice. They are not cookie cutter unique or cookie cutter, all ABC versions of the same house or tiny McMansion. The lawns are well kept. Definitely a place where most people pay somebody to do that for them, although there are most likely some diehard dads in New Balances and jorts who still take care of the lawns of a morning. You stop in front of a very nice house, rather muted, but still bright yellow. Obviously, they take care of the paint, make sure to touch it up. It's not weathered, it's not faded. White trim doesn't exactly stand out, but is still hard not to notice. Your door is open for you, and the gentleman who drove you just silently turns and heads towards the front door. The pavement, the pavers are all fresh and new, nicely interlocking without mortar in a variety of colors. Flower boxes on the windows, which isn't really a common thing these days, but they have just once again a riot of wildflowers. These are not cultivated, all tulips or anything. This is the seeds go in, and what grows. There is a welcome mat with symbols that Soul would recognize, and most other people wouldn't. These are sigils of warding and welcome both.
Mm-hmm.
The mat itself is hand woven, it appears. It's definitely not a, I bought this at Target and just threw it on my front step.
Yep.
He knocks on pulls open the screen door, knocks on the door, and a few moments later, the door opens. There's a little girl with pigtails in a, once again, yellow and white polka dot summer dress.
Mm-hmm.
She's got little tiny pink Crocs on with flowers on them that look a lot more battered than the dress does. These look like favored shoes that don't come off unless somebody pries them off of her feet.
Yep.
Probably to wash them a lot. And she just goes, oh, it's you. Mama said you were coming. Yes, come on. And she reaches out to grab a hand, or at least a couple fingers,
Yep.
and just leads him inside while the kind of meat mountain of a guide closes the door behind him and heads off in another direction.
He stayed outside?
No, he
Oh, he
like
came
steps
in and went to a
behind the
different room.
He
Okay.
went to a different room.
Gotcha. Okay.
The inside of the place is a little more. It doesn't really match the outside, and yet it does. Inside, there are a lot more. There are artifacts. There's artwork on the walls, things that speak very much of someone who is of the same faith.
Mm-hmm.
Even then, it's not a riot. It's all very well organized. Everything is staged just so. In the living room, there's a big, comfortable couch, and on the couch is a woman he probably has seen, either on TV, or the local TV, or possibly in the newspaper, because there's still a little newspaper that puts out an edition. And that is Natina Noel, known to her community as Mama Nettie. She does not look like a traditional Mambo, even though almost instantly he can tell exactly what she is. She is also in something of a power suit. She looks like she could very much and very easily step out of this living room and go give a deposition or go speak before City Hall or throw a shawl on and counsel some people through some difficulties. He is known for her philanthropic work, for the support she also gives to her community. Zane would definitely have come cross paths with her, for all that they're on different socioeconomic tiers, as it were.
Yeah.
And he can tell just at a glance that this is a woman who has put on her own mask, because she has learned full well that to make things happen in City Hall, to make things happen with the rich and powerful, showing up dressed as a traditional Mambo
Yeah.
would not serve the cause that she is championing, and that's for the downtrodden, the underprivileged, for not just for those of the Black community, but for the whole city. Mama Nettie has always had helping hand available for those who needed it. And her eyes are very much the eyes of someone who has marched through hell and will march through it again and again and again until either hell wises up,
Mm-hmm.
or there's nothing left of her to walk.
I take my fingers back from the child and do my best to, without saying anything, to not shoo, that would be too powerful, but to try and convince the little girl to leave the room.
She kind of frowns for a little bit and then does like the little sneaky sort of side look to Mama Nettie, who also just kind of does the little, just a little kind of finger flutter, and there's a pout and a stamp of a crocked foot.
And as soon as it's obvious, Saul does the "I can't see you" as he leaves, just to play along. And also so he can watch until she's properly gone and not peeking around the corner from the hallway.
He knows children well enough to have caught that.
Mm-hmm.
She definitely goes around the corner, and you can hear with your better than average hearing the sound of somebody who's just stepping a little lighter in place with every step to try and make it seem like they're leaving.
In that case, I time my steps to those fake steps and then just do the pop around the corner looking her right in the face, because he's not very tall anyway, so he wouldn't have to bend down very much. Just
and she goes and then runs away giggling.
Yeah.
So
and then I look both ways on the hallway and turn around and then bow to Mama Nettie.
Nope, none of that. No need for that. We're on rather equal footing, I feel, at this moment, and that's the way I would prefer it. Please have a seat. and there's a very comfortable, over upholstered sort of monstrosity of a chair.
Yep.
Across from her, there's a nice, it looks like it was carved and put together from pieces of driftwood that were then stained and polished
Nice.
for the table. And
So yeah, boom, into the chair. He's been told to relax. He's listening. He's not perched on the edge or none of that. He is committed to the chair.
good, good.
Yeah.
And she goes, well, I'm kind of surprised it took us this long to meet, but you know, someone who is so very much a part of the opener of ways tends to be rather elusive even in a small town. And admittedly, there wasn't a need for us to meet until now. How much do you know about this town? The history of this town is where I kind of need to start.
My history goes back as far as I can remember and no more. The rest of it's just stories.
It is. And there are a lot of stories for such a small, out of the way town. But what's important to know is that the gods can't come here. Anywhere else in this country, most other places in this world, you could find, if they were of a mind to do so, the gods, an avatar, willing horses for the Loa and their spirits. Um, they're
Yeah,
far. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
yes, I know. That's why I'm here. It's too loud everywhere else.
Good, good. Then that's not a surprise to you. What might be a surprise is why that is. And I don't have the full picture, but from what I've been hearing around town, you and your new friends are digging in very dangerous places, both physically and metaphorically.
But where else would you dig?
I would suggest you don't dig, but I don't think
But
that
then you'll never
is.
find anything. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I don't understand.
This place is, as far as I have been able to tell, and from what little the gods have been able to share with me, especially Dambada, this place is you could think of it as a prison, or you could think of it as the locked door on a cage for something that must not and cannot escape. I don't know what. I don't know how it was built. But I do know the few times I've ventured outside of town, not only did I start to forget it very quickly, even though I intended to come back, but in those moments, I could be contacted easier.
Yes,
And
it's loud out there.
it is. It is. And normally I would revel in the noise, but I am needed here. And I'm needed here to help keep that door closed and undiscovered if possible. I don't know where it is. I don't know if it's even actually a door, but something is sealed away here that the world does not want and may not survive being released.
Can it only be used once, this door?
No, no. This door, if it opens, it is open. And it would take, I don't even know if it could be closed again once it's opened.
What I must have misspoke. What I meant was, is it one directional?
No.
So I can go in and have a look.
I strongly suggest that you not do that, because doing so would mean that the door was opened, and that's what we do not want to happen.
But it's closed from this side so far, right? What if someone went through and closed it from the other side too?
I don't know that that's possible, but we do know for that to happen, the door would still have to be opened to go through the doorway, and we don't want that to.
But that's what doors are for. If you
Not all
didn't want it
doors are
open, you
for
make it a
that.
wall.
Sometimes you can't make it a wall. Sometimes you can only metaphorically pile things in front of it and hope that whatever is on the other side can't open it.
But then it's still a door.
It is still a door in that situation. But it's a door, and please stay with me on this one. It's a door that needs to stay closed forever.
You know who you're talking to, right?
I do. And honestly, I'm talking to you, A, because we are both favored by the Loa, for better or for ill, and B, because you are the only one I could find right now.
Well, then it must have been fated.
I would agree with that, although which fate arranged it remains to be seen. However, what I need to know is, what have you uncovered about the door, or who might be looking into it?
I found a nest.
A nest?
A whole nest of them underground. Leeches in a nest like ants. It was dissonant. But I lit some of it on fire. I don't think it did much good though, because it's not still burning, I don't think.
A nest of leeches, like the little black.
No, the big ones that go inside people's skin and wear really shitty clothes.
And you hear from around the corner, "Yeep!" And then running feet again. Only there's no giggling this time.
Mm-hmm.
And then you look at God. She's so good at sneaking. She's so good at sneaking. I hate it. I love her, but I hate it. Leech people. That's a new one. I know we have had creatures in the town from time to time and in the forest around it. Things that normal people don't know about and generally don't survive encountering, but we had a hunter who's taking care of that for us.
Oh, you're talking about the mirror. Like just now, he got it. He's been talking about the whole the whole other story with the leeches up until now.
No, that's what she was referencing.
Okay, just to make
That they were
sure. Yeah,
looking. She's sure that's into the door, but she goes, "Wait, the mirror? What about a mirror?"
it's a door. Somebody wants to come through it and kill that nice real estate lady.
I really miss Carlton, which is the first name of the hunter who went missing. Goes, okay, so do you know where your friends are now?
No, not at all.
Well, I do.
We all went different ways.
You did. And you're right, that fire is not still burning. I don't know what happened with the house itself. None of my people could get close, but it is no longer burning. Nobody's actually trying to go into it, however.
I wouldn't
They
suggest
just-
that the basement's full of leech people.
Well, we'll have to see what happens there. They just threw open the storm doors after they moved a car and dropped a hose down in there and turned the water on. So, yeah,
Victory for Solace.
so we'll figure that out. But for now, I feel like I need to reunite you with your team. Because
Okay, what do you want me to do?
stay with them and make sure that they don't let the door be opened. And if the door is opened, or the way, or whatever this is, that I'm just using door as a handy reference, it might be something else entirely. Whatever it is, stays shut and locked. And if it does not, you need to tell me as soon as possible so I can try and mitigate the fallout.
How do you shut a mirror?
I don't think it's a mirror, but it might be. And in that case, put a covering over it, like a cloth or something, so there's
Okay.
nothing to see.
That makes sense. And he does a quick scurry over to check the hallway again
Right?
and see if she's back. And
She's
whether
not
she,
back at this
yeah,
point.
okay,
She heard leech people and is just noped out of the whole
Yeah,
situation. At that
fair.
point.
So turn back to Mama Nettie and say, well, if that's all, then thank you again, and I'll bow whether you like it or not. And he kind of grins and bows. And he says, maybe next time, I've heard you made great cookies. And he backs out of the room and heads down the hall without letting her answer. Or at least she's going to have to yell.
Oh, she doesn't yell. But she does just say catch. And clicking out and around the corner is a tarot card.
Yeah.
The Chariot. Done in a very abstract method. And he says, hold on to that.
It's right into he wears the bib overalls, and it goes right in that big pocket in the front. Yeah.
Harry's going to take you to where they went, or at least where they were last seen. And Terry, the big guy, just kind of steps out and opens the door, gestures to the car.
And as he's walking to the car, he kind of grins, and very much under his breath, just so the audience can hear, he says, I promised that I'd let none of them open the door. And he grins and gets in the car and lets himself be driven back.
And this, ladies and gentlemen at home, is why we can't have nice things. So, Alexandria and Juliet. The mirror disintegrated, or at least the glass within fell apart.
Oh, sorry.
And the old leather and weathered wood door that was set behind it is slowly swung open as Alexandria is being bandaged with Juliet's shirt.
Yeah, I had just remembered she's only in a bra right now. That's freaky. But before we go anywhere else, I love you, and I think I did before. I can't remember if that was all right. But I was terrified that I lost you, and I had to tell you before I couldn't.
Yeah, before Juliet can even stop speaking, Alexandria kisses her.
She just, like, freezes, and then she's like, it's like the moment of, like, oh, okay. But, like, she doesn't actually say that. It's just like, yeah, you get it. And does kiss her back.
when Alexandria realizes, she's like, I am so sorry. I wanted to take the chance before you forgot about us again.
I don't quite know that that's how this works. I forgot, and now I'm remembering. And hopefully I don't lose that again.
I don't think I could handle losing you again.
I don't remember everything. But I think I remember enough. The rest you could always help me fill in.
After we handle what we have to.
Sorry, Ruth just realized she was talking differently. Maybe it would do good for my memory if you didn't pretend to be something you weren't.
It's been my survival.
We'll work on that.
Maybe with you I can.
That was kind of my point. Anyway. The door. Shall we?
The door.
She's gonna grab her hand.
Yeah.
Okay. And you step through the door together, and it's just wide enough that you can walk side by side. And it doesn't slam shut behind you, but it definitely slowly closes of its own violation behind you as you step down the hallway. And the walls here start out like the sort of rocky stone and tightly packed soil you were used to from the tunnel, but after only a few steps, it starts to seem more like glass. Bumpy at first, glass over dirt, until you can't see the glass or the dirt anymore, and it's just glass, floor, ceiling, and walls. Your feet, your boots, your shoes click and echo down the hallway as you take your steps until you don't so much turn a corner as round a corner. And you're seeing all around you, almost like one of those 3D rooms that they have now that you can step into, and it seems like you're surrounded by water. You feel like you are completely surrounded by water. Sunlight filters through from above. There are things swimming in the water that are not natural. This isn't just, sunfish and seals. You see merfolk, kelpies, seahorses, but like actual horses with the tail end of a fish, kind of seahorses. You see a thriving, if not society, then at least collective of supernatural creatures, things directly out of myth, and not just Greek myth, but predominantly Greek myth. Naiads and Tritons. And as you walk, you draw closer to what appears to be a throne room. Not directly in front of you, but as though you're going to pass by it, like on tour, in an expensive house. And as you pass by it, you see on a throne of coral and mother of pearl and gold and silver that looks like every bit of it has grown naturally. A powerful man in Speedos, not a toga, anything like that. Definitely rocking a shimmering banana hammock, with Ray-Ban sunglasses up on his forehead, long flowing white hair. He definitely has, a trident that doesn't. You can't tell what it's made out of. It's almost as if the very essence of gold and light had been forged into an implement. And he sits on the throne, and you can't hear. He is good for the brand, but we're not quite at Bro Sidon levels here. But he's definitely a little more modern than you might expect, and you can't hear what he's saying, but just running back and forth, these different creatures approach the throne and appear to communicate with him before heading off to do something. Sometimes he just gestures a little, sometimes you can see his lips move, but you can't make out what he's saying. It's not in any language that even, a skilled lip reader could actually read and make out. And he's just holding court. Do you stop or do you just keep walking?
Alexandria will stop and watch for a little bit. But if it looks like his attention is turning on us, she's gonna freak and run.
Yeah,
Funny that you should say
Juliet's
that.
just like, yo, what's going on? She's a curious girly.
Yeah.
Alexandria is too. She's just like, I don't want to get caught by my uncle.
She's like, this is so strange. What's all this then?
Just as you're thinking it's time to move on, Alexandria, a pair of ocean blue eyes lift to the two of you, and there's no, it's not like anything, just like one finger, the finger on the hand holding the trident just kind of goes, go on. This isn't for you, go.
Yeah, then she'll take Juliet's hand a little tighter, nod to him as like a thank you, and keep walking.
The walk and what you're seeing continue to change. You find yourself moving through forges set inside an active volcano. You walk through the clouds where a large, buff man with a wandering eye and an epic beard pauses mid-conversation with a series of goddesses who are beautiful beyond description to look down and yeet a lightning bolt. That's something that you can't see. He gets a slap upside the head from, an older, mature, but also beautiful woman wearing a sort of small crownlet, just kind of, and squabbling ensues as you move past. Through fields, across mountains, and finally, it feels like you're walking forward, but also moving down. And in your soul exactly where you're going now.
Way down.
Way, way down. The scenery blurs past you as though you're moving quite a bit faster than any mortal creature should ever be able to move. And soon you find yourselves at the edge of a river. But not just any river. Teeming to either side of you, pressed up against the glass and spread out, are figures. Indistinct figures. Not glowing like some sort of cheap special effect, but see-through, drab figures. Some of them still garbed in togas and ancient clothing. Some of them wearing very modern accoutrement, suits, jeans. You see some folks, soldiers from the looks of them in World War II and World War I clothing, Civil War, all sorts of dead. And you, as both of you, because of your nature or just your leanings, know that these are dead. These people are dead, and they are trapped on the wrong side of the river.
I forgot we had similar gods, just different pantheons for a moment.
Yep.
Because it wasn't planned.
Nope.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it makes complete sense. Alexandria exactly knows what's going on, and it's just like, I just got my girl back. I don't want her to know who my dad is.
Juliet's like, well, I guess, like, in her mind, she's like, they're dead, and I don't know why I know that. I don't know why I know that for sure, because they're moving.
Yeah.
I didn't see them dead.
They look dead. Many of them, but not all, carry the wounds that ended their lives and the marks. The path goes across the river, and you can see the water sloshing up against the edges and roiling along the bottom of this path. And through the glass, you can see more shades, more spirits, clawing desperately at the walls and floor, as though they're trying to pull themselves up to safety. Not that their touch does anything. It slides, and their hands slide right off like glass. These, Alexandria, are the ones who not only couldn't pay the ferryman, but tried to cross the river themselves.
Yeah.
And this is their fate.
Yeah.
Very
Also the ones with
faintly.
the audacity.
Yeah. Or lack of wisdom. It's hard to tell the difference sometimes.
Yeah.
Filtering through the walls, this is the first time you can actually hear anything from an area you've been walking through, and you hear the ceaseless but faint moans and cries of the dead, begging, pleading, and apologizing, offering anything and everything to just be taken back to shore. Soon, there's land again. And before you know it, before you realize what's happening, there's a thud that shakes the corridor you're in as a giant spotted dog, not three-headed, spotted dog in black and white, thumps into the corridor and paws, whining and growling, not angrily, just trying very much to get in.
Can I pet the puppy?
Juliet,
You
what?
cannot pet the puppy. You can touch the wall where the puppy's paw is. You can give some prison love to the puppy, as it were, but you cannot. If you try, there's just like molecule thin. It feels like sheet of impermeable glass between the two of you.
Juliet's
And then the
also
dog-
just gonna touch the glass.
Yeah, touch the glass to the puppy.
I love that both of their instincts were to pet the dog.
Pet the dog. Yep. So the dog's ears perk up after a few moments, and it turns and races off around an outcropping of rock and vanishes from view. And soon you're crossing another river. This one with no souls along the edge. This one with nothing in it itself. But even through the walls of your corridor that you're walking through, as you cross over it, you feel your memories starting to get fuzzy.
Not again.
You don't necessarily lose anything, but you do, while you're not necessarily even in contact with the water, but I'd say within the water's sphere of influence, it's hard to remember why you were walking, where you were walking, who you were walking with, until you cross the boundary, and it all comes slamming back down. A little more walking, and now you are in caves, but the most expansive cave that you have ever even contemplated. Entire cities could fit into this cavern. And far in the distance, you see, lit by fires that don't look or seem like they would give any warmth whatsoever. Like the ghost of fire is held in the braziers. You see two people on thrones. Very much power couple vibes with them. The man is in a dour but very well cut, very expensive suit, black on black on black. And the woman is in a obviously expensive custom dress that looks like it's silk and made out of thousands of flower petals. Thousands of silk flower petals. And arrayed around them is just a sea of shades. Not moaning, not desperate. Most of them seemingly just there and watching. And again, you feel a certain attention on you, as though both of them stop everything they're doing and focus their entire being on you. And then the one in the flower dress, even from this distance, you can feel excitement welling and eyes widening as she flicks her eyes over to Juliet. And there's some giddy clapping and a bit of nudging of the gentleman in the suit, who frowns.
It's because she has no shirt on.
And you can't hear what they're saying, but there's definitely suddenly a conversation going on very animatedly as you pass through.
There are more pressing issues. Do you want to know where my shirt is? Over a wound.
Yeah, it's over here.
But yeah, sure, focus on my tits.
Your steps carry you past this tour of a pantheon is how probably the best way to describe it. And you suddenly find yourself at another door. This one already open. The same material, same hinges, looking ancient, but also like it will never fall apart. And so, a voice from on the other side of the door says, "Please come in. We have things to discuss before I can let you go any further." Zayd and Xander, you have been following the vines down this trail, this tunnel for quite a while. And even without any tracking skills, you spot along the way, here's a shoe print in the dust. It's very clear that nobody's come this way for quite a long time. Here's might be a drop of sweat. This might be blood. The vines seem to be vibrating with urgency. The longer this hunt or chase or determined power walk, however you're proceeding, is going on.
Pretty sure we're both running.
Okay.
Yeah. It makes the most sense.
Well then, you run and you run and you run, and this tunnel twists and turns and weaves. It is definitely not anywhere near approximating a straight line. And then you come to, I can only describe it as a Roman style bath. You just burst around a corner and there is fluted marble columns, marble tiles. The air is humid. There are square baths that are steaming and scented very nicely. Kind of a citrusy, earthy smell of minerals. Just sitting there. And in one of the pools, as there are many stretching to the left and the right before the hallway continues, is a rather husky man, completely naked, rather hairy, just soaking in one of the pools with a goblet of wine. And he looks at you both as you're coming through, and he's like, whoa, 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 whoa. No running in the pool. Although I can guess why you're running.
I kind of feel like Xander's just power walking through the pools and just kind of
exactly
going, if you want
Zane
to
is
talk,
doing.
you gotta talk fast if you want to talk, because we're not really slowing down that much other than not running.
No, well, he just kind of takes a sip and watches as you pass and says, "You're not that far behind him. And I did what I could to help slow him down. Good luck."
Thank you, strange obese man.
That was rude.
I'm assuming he smells how I think he smells of olives and olive trees.
Yes, and wine. Very
And wine,
strongly
very
wine.
important.
Yeah.
It's somehow piercing through the smell of olives, and he's somehow smelling wine.
Oh yes, very much. And
yeah,
as
Zane is familiar with that smell.
although this is a
fancier smell than he's used to, but still.
Yes, definitely way fancier. The difference between Mad Dog 2020 and a 60-year-old Macallan,
I get that.
kind of different. And as you're nearing the other side of the room, you see what looks like a puddle of wine that is now pretty much dried up, but that has some slide marks in it and possibly looks like somebody might have fallen on their ass in it.
You know, I was hoping it wouldn't be just this, but yeah, I don't. Yep. And I continue moving with Xander as quickly as possible.
Okay. You run for a little further before you notice a shoe stuck in the ground. And it's not clear how it got stuck in the ground. It looks like it was just sucked right into the dirt, but it's not wet, it's not mud. It's like the earth just snapped closed around the shoe. A little further down, you find the other shoe. Although this one looks like it was just kicked off in annoyance. Eventually, you come to another room. And this room is also, I don't know if cavernous is quite the right word, but it's a very large room. And surrounding it, like along all of the walls, are the roots of these vines. Like this is obviously where the vines were planted and where they were grown from and where they come from. All of them are springing out of the walls. And you see they have wrapped something in the center of the room incredibly tightly. And standing in front of whatever that large object is, and I'm talking 12 feet tall, maybe 6 feet across, that they have wrapped almost like a short pillar, is Randall, who still has his, his rocking cape.
Yeah, of course. Can't go anywhere without that.
And who is clawing at the vines with his hands. Like he's trying to pull them free. And the vines are dying as he does this. More seem to try and interpose themselves between him and whatever they're protecting, but he's making progress. And they don't seem to be able to touch him directly. Several times you see the vines like coil like snakes or like whips and lash out and just can't quite seem to touch him.
Zane's gonna kind of charge into him, just kind of try to push him away from the vines first.
All
It
right.
also starts with, "Hey, Cape Weirdo."
There's
He
just
doesn't know his name.
over his shoulder, Randall Evans. Oh wait, they never told you, did they?
No,
No.
they never told me
No,
their
no.
name.
No,
How are we
so-
supposed to call him anything else but Cape Weirdo? Still,
Even if you knew his name, you would call him Cape Weirdo. Let's be honest here.
yeah, let's be honest. But still, I'm just like, we don't know his name. To us, he's just Cape Weirdo.
Yeah.
Or da 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 da, super lame.
It's like no time for you.
Xander's
I
going
have a world
to
to conquer.
go kind of around far, let Zane kind of take the straight route. Zane's going to go around to the other side of the vines. Kind of the other side where Randall's not paying any attention to.
Okay.
And he's going to go up to them.
All right. Let's start with. You said you're putting hands on him if he ignores you. Is that? Or what? How is Zane? If he just because he really
Zane is
doesn't
just
seem
kind
like
of
he's
charging
displeased.
in with a shoulder.
Okay. Give me the roll for that.
I'm assuming that's close combat and might, because I'm doing
That
roughly.
definitely works.
Yep. Okay, give me a second. I got 4 successes.
4 successes. All right. So you just like linebacker tackle straight into his lower back and rip him away from the vines, which redouble their efforts to interpose themselves between him and the object as you knock him away. And there is a pained hissing sort of grunt, like sort of noise. And he stands up and turns to you, or at least he's trying to stand up and turning to you, and you can see that his human disguise, that stolen skin, has seen far better days. At this point, there are rents in the skin through which you can see the glistening, ridged leech body underneath. One
You
of the
really need to
arms-
step up your cardio.
Is that all you have? Jokes and a pointy
No,
stick?
yeah, the pointy stick's pretty good. I mean, just watch this, and then he takes a swing at him.
All right, give me the roll.
Sorry.
No, it's all right. I was willing to, do a little back and forth if you were up to it, but I get the feeling Zane is just done with this shit.
Zane has done as much as he needs to get him off his balance, and as he's getting up, he's just going to swing at him. So this is with a guaranteed success.
Guaranteed success. Yeah.
No, it's just 4 successes.
4 successes. Okay. Well, let me.
Because that's with the guaranteed. I made a mistake and I almost said 5 for what was a 6.
All right. Oh. Three. So you have 1 success that you can use to do damage or for any other combat stunt.
What would a combat stunt be?
Things like grappling, disarming, tripping, things like that.
The only thing I want to disarm is literally an arm.
Okay. So you're just taking the stab?
Pretty much. Except what I'm more trying to do is just kind of get one of his eyes.
Okay.
Because it's just it's a pretty good pointy stick. I mean, watch this.
What eyes?
Yep, that does occur, I think, to Zane as he stabs the blade in, and it goes straight through the sunglasses that he still has, and into an empty eye socket, which still obviously pokes something and pains him. You're like, son of a... The eye? We don't have those.
Yeah, but it's right next to the mouth, so I thought if I just slide down like this...
Hey. All right, and you slide the blade down, and it makes a very disturbingly leathery, organic sound. As it just drags through skin that isn't necessarily the kind of skin one would expect. It's dense and fibrous tissue. And at that point, the disguise apparently has just given up the ghost because the skin delicacies, for lack of a better word. It doesn't tear so much as it just turns into this sort of protoplasmic fluid that just sloughs off of him. And now you're standing in front of a slightly stabbed 7-foot tall leech creature with long spindly arms and 5 fingers with short claws, and he's still wearing the cape. The clothes went, the skin went, the cape did not go.
You really love that cape, don't you?
I told you, it is a cultural artifact.
Yeah,
also,
but not all cultural artifacts are good.
Give me a defense roll.
It's the 3, right?
It should be your... Oh god, my PDF closed. Why did you close? Come back today.
I have all my resilience is a 3. So
then it should
says
just be the 3, unless you're sacrificing your next attack action to do a full defense.
no. I'm I'm not.
I
So I
did
just
not
roll
figure you actually
3d10.
would. You just rolled 3d10.
Okay. Yeah, I have one success.
One success. Okay.
You just roll 3, so it's not like there's going to be a lot.
Yeah, well, it's as you've noticed, we don't tend to get a lot of successes with these rolls, so it's more of just your sort of defensive reaction. Whereas
Also, Xander, if you want to do anything while I'm doing this, just
I
say
mean,
the word.
I'm not sure how long it's going to take for him to get to the other side of the vine cluster.
it's going to take a bit because there are vines coming in from the walls just all over. Like they all were pitching in to try to shield the node or whatever it is under there, and so it's kind of like one of those adult jungle gym sort of situations where he's got to climb up, over, under, because the vines aren't.
I mean, would you like a roll for him going through some bunch of vines?
Yeah, actually, give me that roll. Let's jungle gym this thing. Let's see how it goes.
What's funny is it's going to be like the forest exploration with dexterity is kind of the direction I'm thinking. Unless like the forest doesn't get that bad. It gets rough, but not usually this bad.
Not normally this bad. I don't think he's going to get the. It's not, the Oregon is not known for its swingable vines and such.
Okay. For 4 successes for him getting around this place.
Jesus. All right. Well, never mind what I said about getting terrible rolls here. So instead, you just it feels like they're at least moving as much as they can to help you. You just effortlessly George of the Jungle your way through this without actually hitting any walls. And I'm saying George of the Jungle because I like him better than Tarzan.
I love George's Jungle.
So faster than one might have thought, you make it around kind of to the back opposite side of this object that you still can't see. That's so tightly wrapped with vines. And you can tell the vines are trying to untangle themselves enough that you can get like a hand in there, but it's going to take a little bit of time. They have all but tied themselves in knots, and sometimes actually tied themselves in knots just to, like, as a last ditch effort to protect themselves.
You're doing great as far as keeping Randall out, and I know I'm only making your job harder trying to get it out while you're still trying to wrap it-ish.
Yeah. So, back on the other side, while you're working on that, Randall, we're just going to do... Randall completely fails. I think I selected the wrong thing, but at this point, I'm sticking with what I rolled. Because nobody really likes Randall anyway. But his whole body sort of swells for a moment before contracting, and he just vomits up this spike of hardened, looks like old blood that you pretty nimbly just sort of slip out of the way of, or at least close enough that it doesn't touch you, which seems pretty good.
While he's vomiting this thing of blood that he's trying to get me with, can I just like gently toss that canister of salt I've been carrying around with me for ages? Just into the mouth?
Yeah, that can be, if that's your action, your attack action, you can.
It's going to be close combat and dexterity, I'm assuming.
All right.
So I roll 9 times. Yeah, I did not mean to make a bruiser when I started this. I
No,
promise.
it's all right. It's all right. Like he has other things he does. This is just kind of what he stepped up to do too.
That's 7 successes.
Whew. All right. He is definitely at the last moment he can see what's happening. We don't think he's actually going to be able to roll well enough to stop that, but let's take a look here. Yep. So he's going to go with this. Five. Not enough. You managed to bank it into his mouth. And almost immediately, like he just starts kind of like retching and pawing. Because the thing is, you didn't open it before you chucked it.
I'm just
So
hoping it'll break inside the mouth. That's what I've
yeah,
been doing.
he's desperately trying to get it out before that happens. So you actually see him just go elbow deep down his own throat, like fishing around for this.
And this is a perfect opportunity to cut off that that arm by the elbow.
We'll get to that. Saul, you were dropped off in front of pew polishers.
Okay.
You see,
Yeah.
what looks like you see a Corolla that was crashed into the side of the building.
Yep.
The front door is open.
Yep.
There are some lights on in there. And Terry's just like, this is your stop.
I just
The butt.
bop out of the car. Can I hear a fracas going on inside?
No, it's way too far down
Oh,
the
okay.
tunnel, but you can see the hole in the covering
Yeah.
and the rope going down. Like it's very clear
Okay.
where everyone went, and you can also see parts of a leech person still leaking through the wall.
That makes sense.
Around
In
the
that
side of the-
case, I run. And I've been waiting forever for this one. This time, finally, the Rush song that accompanies in his head, is "Malignant Narcissism." It's time. That's the boss music. It's time to roll.
All right.
So, and he runs differently than normal though. He's not running like he's opening a space. He's running like he's running through things, because he is now doing his very best to channel Moremi, the great Yoruba hero. So
Okay.
he's finally, I mean, he's got practically no skills that are going to be of any use, but he is on his way in there to fight, whatever that means.
All right. Well, what roll would he make to get down that rope deep into the pit, hit the ground running, and just book?
Where is it? Definitely his dexterity and what was the other? What was the skill? Occult. That's right. That's what we were using before, because it's his
Okay.
magic. It's his magic run.
Run, magic, run.
Lose, not lose. Yes. One success. That's it. But I mean, I'm just getting there, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah.
But that's enough. Like it's not clean, it's not perfect, but yeah, he might have a bit of rope burn on his hands, but
Yeah.
he makes it down with a quickness and is hauling down the way, and he'll see what has been described before. Looks
Mhm.
like this was just roughly chiseled and smoothed right out of the rock itself.
Yeah.
There aren't any real cart tracks or anything. He runs right past the
Shit.
hidden door that Alex and Juliet went down. It is once more completely unseen and doesn't twig his senses the way a hidden door normally would.
Mhm.
This way is not meant for him.
Okay. Um, yeah, head towards the trouble. The doors or not. It's
Okay. He far faster than the other group did by miles because Saul, this is what he does, and he hasn't had to slow down for possible ambushes or fights. He
Yeah.
reaches the edge of the pit and he can see the vines, which don't feel welcoming, but they also don't feel hostile. They seem just kind of neutral, which is an odd thing for vines to feel, even for somebody who's hung around a lot of Xander's plants.
yeah.
But it's very quick and easy. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Just gonna say, and I can see Xander trying to get in through the vines.
No. That's
Oh,
far.
okay,
far
that's
that
different one.
Saul
Okay,
still has he can see the staircase made out of vines that's still
Right.
there from.
Okay,
He doesn't
I
know that
gotcha.
Xander went down, but it's there.
Yeah,
And he makes it down those very quickly, and the vines sort of dismissively point him the right direction, and
Yeah.
he's tearing down the halls. There's just a quick, "Hey, no running!" As he snips through the bath that's just there in the
Yeah.
middle of the path,
Mhm.
and he pops in on the scene just in time to see the spike of blood, the dodge from Zane, the perfect lob of a hashtag not sponsored
Yeah.
thing of Morton salt.
Yeah.
Just come swish right into that big circular leech mouth. He sees Randall and the cape. And
Yeah.
then he sees the hand. And like, oh God, oh, no.
Yep.
What does he do in this? Because he sees Zane's about to try and lop. It looks like Zane's about to try and lop something off this guy, and he sees the something in the middle wrapped in vines in the sort of jungle gym of vines spearing from the wall to this object in the middle.
Okay. Is there a sense that this object is the leading question of all leading questions? Is it door-like? Does it feel like it's a portal? It's a way through?
What role would he, or what would he use to discern that? I'm assuming something in a cult, but
yeah, probably a cult and yeah, I'm just gonna say intellect. I think just gonna the magical logic of the situation.
okay, yeah, give me the roll.
Yeah. One success.
The best that he can sense, given his patron, given his focus, is that it's not a door, but a nail.
It's holding something in place. Okay. Damn it, what do you do? Come on, Saul, tell me what you're gonna do. He goes for the root ball. I want to see what's inside. It's
Okay, so
yep.
you just see so book past you and
Yeah.
start climbing the root ball.
Yep. Oh yeah, running like parkour, running up the root ball.
Just boing, boing, boing.
Athletics and dexterity.
Yeah, give it to me.
See, yeah.
Just to see if he fails. Like I'd love a critical fail here, just for comedy's sake.
And
I never try and root for pain, but
and I would get one enhancement.
Yep.
I mean, Xander wouldn't make himself known to Soul even if he. Oh my gosh, that's a six.
Successes.
That's a 6.
Yeah.
Jesus, American Ninja Warrior has nothing on Saul in this instance.
No, because they keep insisting on touching the ground, and he's not that picky.
He gets up to the top, and he can see just a little bit. It looks through some small gaps between the vines up at the top where things are a little thinner. It looks like pearlescent bone.
one hand on the pocket that's got the tarot card in it. I'm hoping he knows enough about it to know that one of the things about the chariot is it's about willpower.
Mm-hmm.
By the card and by the gods, and slams his hand through to touch the nail through the gap.
Fantastic. Just a
Yeah.
second.
Yes.
Xander and Zane, you're not going to have to roll for this attack because just as you're swinging to bring your sword down on the arm, there is the spiritual feeling of bloop. Like your soul is jello and somebody just flicked it.
Yeah.
And I don't know what sort of sound Saul would make as he is launched straight up into the air away from this.
Oh yeah.
But the sensation of rejection is intensely powerful.
Yep.
Zane, you and Randall both are just, you're not flung as far, but it's like a shockwave. A gentle shockwave. If somebody could make a shockwave out of the softest down pillow that ever existed, it's still enough to just flump you both over and away from each other.
Well, that seems like enough to also break the jar of salt inside of this bread.
It
I
does.
hope.
And we'll get to that. There is just a sound of, oh God!
A Mach 1 pillow. Yeah.
Xander, you
Hi.
finally managed to get a hand in there. You are not blown away at all. In fact, it feels mostly like a warm, comforting spring breeze. And you just barely managed to work your hand in under the vines.
I helped.
And you feel warmth, as though your soul and spirit and the very essence of what makes Xander Xander has just been wrapped up in the fluffiest towel that ever existed that just came out of the dryer. But you also can't move. You can't let go. You can't shift. You can't even take a breath. And a chorus of voices in your head says, we need to plug the brake. Alexandria and Juliet.
That's
The
us.
room you, yeah, that is you. The room you step into is, it's almost like an old-timey weaver's room or workshop. The floors are wood and sanded but not sealed. The walls are the stone that you've seen but somehow smoother and more worked. There is a door at the other side of this, not quite warehouse, really. It is more like a workshop. And dead center in the workshop is a woman who just radiates ancient, not just old, but the kind of feeling that she may have actually seen the stars be formed, kind of old. The chill and weight of countless eons radiates from her. But she looks up and smiles, and she seems cheerful and energetic all of a sudden, as though that weight that you felt has been either pushed aside or maybe just hidden for the moment. Or maybe it never existed at all. It's hard to say in a place like this. She is also beautiful in the way that the others you've seen have been beautiful or handsome. Even poor, lame Hephaestus was himself beautiful in his own way. And all of them had a certain Greek or Mediterranean bent to them, and she does not. You can't actually place what her nationality might even be at this point. She seems to change a little bit from moment to moment. Every time you blink or look away, every time she shifts a little. But always she is beautiful, and always she is weaving. And what she's weaving doesn't seem like the strands of fate. That would look rather different, but it looks like she's weaving scenes. And in this case, she pauses and says, "What do you think of this one?" I think it's a very, very touching, very, very raw work. And she snaps off what appears to be a tapestry of sorts from the loom and holds it up, and it's you and Juliet. It's Alex and Juliet standing awkwardly face to face in a moment that Alex remembers quite vividly, when they first discussed being something more before the accident. There's the moonlight, there's the parking lot, there's a little bit of a Denny's sign in the upper left-hand corner.
Yeah, that's where it would have happened.
Yeah, that is where it happened.
Before or
There's-
after milkshakes.
Who
Yeah.
knows?
There's the cars that Alex remembers and Juliet might find somewhat familiar. And she seems to be waiting to hear what you have to say about it. Looking at you with eyes that roil through all the standard colors and some colors that you're not sure you should even be able to see.
Yes, ma'am, it is very beautiful.
It's very pretty.
It was. It is. But there's a problem. I need it. I need this memory. And that's where we're going to draw the curtain for tonight, because we have 1 minute left.
And you've almost got us all back together again.
Almost! Almost!
Uh,
So, I want to say thank you, Bison. Thank you. I'm particularly proud of that one.
On that note, who's the next cold open?
I'm still thinking about that one, because everybody's had at least one. Yeah, so I'm going to say thank you to my players for giving me so much to work off of and rolling with everything that I am doing. Thank you to everybody in chat for it seems like it was popping off and was active all night. I couldn't pay attention to it, not because I needed to avoid laughing. My brain just sort of zeroes in on what's going on here.
mhm.
I have Siosa, and I said fuck that noise because that's part of what I do for a living. I'm not doing it away from my work computer too. So, thank you to anybody who watches the VOD or watches on YouTube later. If you liked it, you stayed till the end, obviously you probably want more of it. So, hit that button, subscribe, share it to people you think might enjoy it. Go watch the rest of the catalog. We have so many amazing games with so many wonderful players for you to go through and see that are complete. So you don't have to do is this actually going to reach an end or not?
Yep.
And with that, I'm going to close it out in the Dirty 20 way by saying the world...
Thank you, Becca.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you,
Just before you get
Backpile,
it
for
started.
this
Damn it, I
I'm
made
having
it.
a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's usually what I do.
horrific world.
Okay, thank you.
Now back to you, please.
Okay, there you go. The world is a terrible and scary place, and obviously we do little things like this to give ourselves and give you out there a chance to take your mind off it. And beyond that, what we would always ask but never demand is that you be kind. Be kind to yourself, be kind to other people, and if you don't have that energy, then just be nice. It costs nothing, and just you don't have to put the best, things out into the world, but you don't have to make it worth either. Just take care of yourselves, be safe, and we will see you next time with more leech vomiting.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Night, Joe.
Good night.
Hmm.
Yay.